She left without warning. One day she was in your arms telling you she loved you. The next silence, you checked your phone 100 times, replayed every conversation, overthought every word you told yourself. She just needs space. She'll come back. You believed if you just gave her time, she'd realize what she lost. But deep down, another voice whispered something darker. What if she never comes back? What if she's already moved on? What if you've been replaced and she doesn't even miss you? You are not alone. Thousands feel this right now. They're ghosted, ignored, forgotten, still loyal to someone who vanished like they never existed. No contact is what everyone preaches, but I'll say it straight. No contact is not enough. And if you are counting days, still hoping for her return, still watching her stories, you are not doing no contact. You are doing emotional slavery with silence as the leash. Today, we destroy that mindset. This video isn't comfort, it's confrontation. You deserve the truth. Brutal, painful, liberating truth. This isn't about her. This is about you. What you become during no contact determines whether she regrets leaving or forgets you completely. You have the power to transform into someone who doesn't just move on, but outgrows her existence. You are not here to beg. You are here to rise. Comment below. I rise in silence. Number 1, stop hoping she'll come back. You are sitting there right now wondering what she's doing. You tell yourself you are strong, but deep inside there's a voice whispering, maybe she still thinks of me. Maybe she's just confused. Maybe she'll come back when she realizes what we had. But the harsh, unfiltered truth, she's not thinking about you. She's not confused. She didn't forget to text you. She didn't just need space. She left because in her mind she could. And the more you sit in that illusion, the more you hope, the more you wait, the more you delay your own greatness. You think no contact is you being disciplined, but if you are checking her stories, rereading old texts, picturing her next to someone else, and feeling that knot twist in your gut, you are not doing no contact, you are doing quiet desperation. You've just muted the noise, but you haven't muted the obsession. She left you emotionally bleeding, and yet you still romanticize the wound. You hold on to the idea of her, not the reality. The woman you miss isn't real anymore. She existed in moments, not as a constant. She was a season, and you're trying to make winter stay in summer. You need to understand what really happened. She didn't just leave. She measured your value, your strength, your presence, your edge, and decided she could do better. That should not break you. It should awaken you. She chose a world without you, so now you build a world that outgrows her memory. While you wait, she's exploring. While you doubt yourself, she's being desired by someone who doesn't even know your name. That should make you furious, not at her, but at yourself, forever needing someone to validate your worth. You think silence makes her miss you, but silence without change is just empty noise. What are you doing during no contact? Scrolling, fantasizing, wasting hours, imagining a reunion. You think she's out there regretting you, but she's not. She's enjoying her decision because she doesn't feel your absence as a loss. And that's because you've made yourself invisible, not magnetic. Want her to regret leaving, then become unforgettable. Want her to wonder about you, then become unrecognizable. You do that by redirecting every ounce of that heartbreak into obsession. Not over her, but over your evolution. You wake up early, you hit the gym like your soul depends on it. You build your body until the mirror commands respect you, silence your emotions with action. You study the male-female dynamics that school never taught you. You read books that build your mind. You cut off corn, cut off social media, stalking, cut off friends who weaken your path. You build a frame so strong, no woman can bend it. You start a side hustle. You fix your posture. You learn to fight. Not for violence, but so your body learns what strength feels like. You embrace discomfort, cold showers, fasting, discipline. You face your demons. You sit with your loneliness until it no longer scares you. You become a man that doesn't beg for love, but earns loyalty. The truth is she expected you to break. She thought you'd spiral. She thought you'd crawl back with "I miss you" texts. She expected you to post sad quotes. She thought your world would pause for her absence. But what if instead of crumbling, you used her exit as fuel to build a man she wouldn't even dare approach? Now what if her leaving wasn't rejection, but permission for rebirth? Right, now you have a choice. Wait for someone who walked away, or walk into the life that makes her forgettable. Do you want to be the man who sends "I miss you" texts at 2 a.m.? Or the man she checks on silently from a burner account because your blow-up burns her ego? Ask yourself, if she saw me now, would she feel loss or relief? And if the answer is relief, then you've got work to do. No contact is not just silence, it's war. A war against the emotional codependency that made you put her on a pedestal. A war against the weakness that made you tolerate disrespect. A war against the fantasy you are still addicted to during no contact. Every day is a battlefield. You either build or break. You either rise or rot, and most men rot quietly, politely praying for closure. But closure isn't given. It's built through discipline. Do you want closure? Then outgrow her memory. Become so focused on your grind that she becomes a blurred chapter in a book. She's no longer allowed to read. You owe her nothing. Not one more thought, not one more tear. You don't exist to prove your worth to someone who couldn't see it. You exist to become a version of yourself that commands respect without words, without explanation. You think she'll miss you because you are silent. No, she'll miss you when your silence becomes evidence of your evolution, when she realizes she no longer has access to the man you became, when she sees that the comfort you once gave now belongs to someone who earned it. The goal isn't to get her back. It's to get you back the real you, the primal, focused, purpose-driven version that got buried under validation, seeking approval, hungry behaviors. You miss her because she represented comfort. She represented identity, but she also represented stagnation. She didn't challenge you. She tamed you. She softened you, and now you get to rebuild brick by bloody brick. This isn't about bitterness, this is about boundaries. She left good. Now building, and when she resurfaces as most do, you won't even flinch because you'll realize the version of you she abandoned was never the man you were meant to be. That man is forged now in silence, in sweat, in hunger, in self-respect. So stop checking your phone. Stop scrolling her feed. Stop wondering if she'll come back. She doesn't deserve the new you. And you don't need her memory to stay motivated. Move with purpose, dress with presence, speak with power. And when the doubt creeps in, when the loneliness screams, when your mind tells you to reach out, go harder. Train more. Build more, earn more, think deeper, read longer, sleep less, speak less, move smarter, become so dangerous to your old self that she wouldn't even recognize the soul standing in your eyes. This is your era. This is the silent season where kings are made. While others hope you evolve, while others wait, you win. While others beg, you build. Be the man who never needed her to feel worthy. Be the man who thanks her not for staying, but for leaving, because her absence gave you one priceless gift. Your resurrection, you rise. Now, not for revenge, not for validation, but because deep down, even you forgot how powerful you were before she made you doubt it. Now you remember, and now you build like a man on fire. Number 2, look in the mirror and face the truth. You are not where you are by accident. You are here because of decisions, because of patterns, because of blind spots you refused to see. She didn't vanish overnight. She detached slowly, day by day, while you stayed the same, predictable, safe, tame. You look at the mirror, but you don't see yourself. You see a shell built from comfort, weakness, emotional dependence, and an identity crafted around her attention. You think she woke up one day and stopped loving you. No. She outgrew the illusion she had of you. The one you kept fueling by being passive, agreeable, and weak. You became a routine, and women don't leave. Men they admire, they leave the ones who forgot how to lead. how to inspire, how to ignite that primal respect that can't be faked. And before she left you, she tested you. She threw signals. She questioned your ambition. She pulled back emotionally. She started being distant. She stopped being affectionate. You noticed. But instead of drawing a line, you begged, you tolerated, you compromised. You tried harder to win back. A woman who was losing respect for you by the second, because you thought being available was strength. You thought patience would win her back. You thought proving how much you cared would make her stay. But the moment you tried to earn her loyalty after she began withdrawing it, you lost her. You traded your masculine core for comfort. You let her lead, you let her control the tone, the direction, the power. And once she realized she had all of it, she lost attraction. Not because she's cruel, but because women are biologically programmed to crave strength, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. She needs to feel your presence like gravity. She needs to feel your words like steel. She needs to feel your absence like a wound. And you gave her softness, you gave her apologies. You gave her unlimited access to your emotions. You gave her your heart on a silver platter, but forgot to give her a reason to respect the man holding it. That's why you need to look in the mirror and finally confront what you've been denying, that you became comfortable in your weakness, that you let her energy eclipse yours, that you let her body be the reward instead of demanding she align with your values. And now, during no contact, this is your sacred season. Not to miss her, not to stalk her, not to mourn the old dynamic, but to dissect your entire framework and rewire from the ground up. You need to get brutally honest. What does your life look like without a woman in it? Can you lead yourself? Can you discipline yourself? Can you wake up at 5 a.m. and chase a goal without a validation? Or were you just existing as a passenger in your own life, waiting for her affection to feel alive? She doesn't want a man who worships her. She wants a man. She can't figure out a man who doesn't flinch, a man who makes her elevate herself to stay beside him. If she left, it's because that's not who you were, but it's who you become now, in the mirror, in the quiet, in the suffering. You rebuild everything: your diet, your training, your income, your posture, your social circle, your self-image, your values, your voice. No more people-pleasing. No more emotional outbursts. No more fake masculinity masking as anger. You face your truth without flinching. You admit that you let yourself go physically, spiritually, emotionally. You admit you wanted her more than you respected yourself. You admit you were scared to lose her because deep down you believed you couldn't do better, and now you prove that fear wrong. You take your insecurities and expose them under light. You say, I was needy, I was desperate, I lacked purpose, I lost my edge, and instead of pretending, you rebuild from the bones. You journal until your emotions bleed out onto the page. You train until your body screams. You set goals that scare you. You cut out every toxic friend that drains your drive. You stop watching mindless content. You stop masturbating to fantasies that rob your soul. You stop drinking to escape. You start facing the silence and loving the storm. You stop being the man who needs affection to feel powerful and become the man who is power. Whether loved, hated, or feared, because that's what you were born for. Not to chase love, but to radiate dominance. Not to beg for validation, but to command respect. You think she was your purpose. She wasn't. She was a mirror showing you what you lacked. And now that mirror is shattered, and all that's left is you raw, real rebuilding. And during no contact, you don't heal by avoiding pain. You heal by immersing yourself in it and owning it like a warrior. You stare into the abyss of every flaw you've hidden under romance and say, it dies today. Because if you don't, the next woman will see the same weakness. She'll see the same excuses, and she'll leave the same way, and this cycle will repeat until your soul has nothing left. So no, this isn't just about her. This is about your future, your bloodline, your kingdom, your legacy. It's about the fire you were meant to wield, that you let die for comfort, and now it's time to relight it. Every decision you make in this season echoes in your destiny. Every rep, every book, every morning you get up with fire in your chest. Every night you go to sleep with peace instead of pain. That's how you win. That's how you evolve. And that's how one day when she looks at you again, she won't even recognize the man in front of her, because he didn't just change, he resurrected. He faced every demon. He embraced every flaw, and he built a life so powerful that even she wouldn't dare try to walk back into it. Number 3, train until you are unrecognizable. Your body doesn't lie. It's the reflection of every decision you've made when no one was watching. Look at yourself. Are you proud or are you comfortable? Are you built for war or waiting for love? She looked at you and saw softness, not just in your body, but in your presence, your posture, your eyes. She didn't feel fire. She didn't feel fear. She didn't feel the heat that commands respect without a word. That's why she left. That's why she doubts you now, because what woman stays with a man who can't even dominate himself? You think it was about chemistry, about compatibility. No, it was about polarity. She needed to feel your power, not in words, in aura. And your aura starts with discipline. You don't get it by journaling alone. You don't become magnetic by reading quotes. You become it through steel, through pain, through sweat, through routine that breaks and rebuilds you. You build a physique that silences rooms. You move in a way that makes other men step back and women lean in without even knowing why. You enter every space with unspoken authority, not because you fake confidence, but because your body has learned the language of suffering, and that kind of man is rare. He's respected, he's envied, he's remembered. You don't train for revenge, you train because strength is the ultimate freedom. When your body is a weapon, your mind is calm. When you know you can endure pain, you stop fearing loss. You stop fearing rejection. You stop fearing her leaving. You stop fearing her silence, because now you've built silence within yourself, and it's louder than any attention she could give during no contact. If your muscles aren't aching, you are not healing. If your breath isn't heavy from exertion, your mind is still heavy with obsession. Replace pain with pain. Replace mental weakness with physical fatigue. Turn every thought of her into reps, into sets, into growth. Don't just go to the gym, become the gym. Make pain your church. Make iron your confessional. Turn every lift into a prayer for your rebirth. When you feel like texting her, drop and do 100 push-ups. When you feel weak, run 5 miles. When you are aching for her voice, hit the bag. Until you can't lift your arms, let her memory fuel your evolution. Not because you want her back, but because she lit a fire in you that you will never allow to die again. Train like your future depends on it, because it does. Modern relationships are brutal. Comfort is a curse. Weakness is punished. You don't get points for trying. You don't get rewarded for being nice. You get tested relentlessly. Every woman today has more options, more distractions, more validation than ever before. If you are not the most disciplined man in her orbit, she will find someone who is. That's not bitterness, that's nature. Women are wired to chase safety, strength, power, and if you think she's going to stick around for your potential, you're dreaming. She wants results. She wants proof. She wants a man who isn't working out of desperation, but living out of dominance. So you train until even your silence intimidates. You train until your walk makes noise in her soul. You train until she can't even look at your profile without feeling regret. Punch her in the chest. And most importantly, you train until you no longer care, because this isn't about her anymore. This is about reclaiming the edge that life stole from you. Society softened you, relationships drained you, emotions distracted you, but no more. You rebuild brick by bloody brick. Start with your morning. Wake up before the world, cold shower. Fasted cardio. Read 10 pages. Meditate. Hit the gym with rage in your chest and clarity in your mind. Log every rep. Log every set. Log every meal. Build momentum. Cut sugar. Cut alcohol. Cut excuses. You don't reward yourself for showing up. You show up because that's who you are. Now you build discipline, not because it's trendy, but because your future family deserves a man who doesn't break under pressure. You want to be a father, a leader, a protector. Then be the man who eats pain for breakfast. Be the man who can carry the weight of life and smile through it. Training isn't about aesthetics, it's about identity. Every drop of sweat is a reminder that you are no longer that soft, desperate version of yourself who waited for her to choose you. You choose yourself now and the world will feel it. You don't need her eyes. You don't need her words. You don't need her touch. You need reps. You need routine. You need rhythm, because those things build what no woman can ever take away: your edge. And when that edge sharpens everything, changes your posture, straightens your voice, deepens your eye contact, strengthens your energy, becomes undeniable. You become the man she never thought you could be. The man who doesn't check her profile, who doesn't stalk, who doesn't care, who is too busy becoming a king to chase a queen who walked away during no contact. If you are not transforming, you are wasting time. Pain is inevitable. Use it, channel it. Let it crush your weaknesses. Let it expose your flaws, let it break you, and then rebuild you into a version so raw, so primal, so unapologetically masculine that the world has no choice but to respect you. This is your chance. Don't waste it by waiting. Move now, sweat now, suffer now, because that suffering turns into power. That pain turns into presence. That loss turns into legend. Be the man who trains in silence and lets the results do the talking. Be the man who walks into a room and doesn't need to say a word because his body speaks for him. Be the man who rises from heartbreak like a beast, unchained not for her, but for you, because the world respects warriors, not wishes. And if you ever loved her, let that love become legacy. Let it sculpt your body, sharpen your mind, and elevate your life. Let her leaving be the beginning of your domination. You train until you're unrecognizable, not to win her back, but to never lose yourself again. Number 4, build a mind she can't manipulate. She controlled you without touching you. She didn't need to scream. She didn't even need to speak a look from her, a pause in her reply, a change in her tone, and your whole world shifted. You started doubting yourself. You wondered what you did wrong. You replayed conversations, crafted explanations, begged the silence to speak, because she trained you slowly, subtly, not with violence. With softness, with emotion, with silence as a weapon, and you, like most men, handed over your mind before you even realized what you'd lost. That's how manipulation works. It doesn't break you all at once. It makes you question yourself layer by layer, and during no contact. If you don't rebuild that mental armor, you will fall again to her, or the next woman who plays the same game in a different body. Because this is deeper than love. This is psychological warfare, and if your mind is weak, no amount of muscle or money will save you. You think your thoughts are yours. They're not. Most of them were planted, conditioned, programmed by her reactions, her approval, her absence. She rewarded your compliance, punished your truth. She trained you like a dog, and now during no contact you are still chasing her validation. Even in her silence you imagine what she thinks. You interpret what she posts. You create fantasies where you win her back, not realizing you are still enslaved to a woman who walked away. That ends. Now you rebuild your mind, or you stay her emotional puppet. There's no middle ground. You think being smart protects you. Intelligence isn't immunity to manipulation. Discipline is, and you build it like a fortress, brick by brick. You start with awareness. You track your thoughts, you catch the ones that orbit around her, and you kill them on sight. Not because you are heartless, but because you are at war and the enemy is inside. You don't let your mind wander. You command it like a general in combat. You feed it only what makes you sharper. Books that teach you dominance. Audio that cuts like blades, silence that teaches you to listen inward. You stop escaping. You stop numbing. You stop scrolling, because dopamine is the drug they use to control you. Every notification you chase is another leash on your mind. You think you are free, but your emotions are hijacked by algorithms, by women, by trauma. Reclaim it. Own your mornings before the world speaks. Speak to yourself. Read pages that stretch you. Journal truths you are afraid to admit. Meditate not to relax, but to observe, to catch your patterns, to burn the lies, to hear the inner voice that used to roar before it got tamed by her approval. No contact isn't silence. It's the sacred ground where your mind is reforged. You teach it new truths, that attention isn't love, that distance doesn't define your value, that the one who leaves isn't stronger, just louder. You must become so mentally fortified that she could call you, cry to you, beg you, and your pulse wouldn't rise because you've seen through it. You've studied manipulation, you've learned human nature. You know how guilt is used, how fear is triggered, how love is weaponized, and now you are immune. You no longer beg for clarity. You create it. You don't wait for closure. You decide it. You don't wish for peace. You become it. And the moment your mind is unshakable, her control dies. Women can't manipulate men. They don't emotionally own. So take back your emotions, command them, convert them. Every ounce of pain you feel is energy, either used to break you or build you. You decide she left, she moved on. She didn't choose you. Fine, but that's not the end. That's the spark, and now you turn it into a fire that never dies. You do this not to impress her, but to liberate yourself. Because a man who is mentally free is the most dangerous man alive. He sees through games. He doesn't chase what doesn't choose him. He isn't addicted to feminine energy. He loves it. He appreciates it, but he never needs it. His purpose is his addiction. His growth is his mistress. His silence is sacred, and his mind is a kingdom where no one enters without earning access. That's who you become. Now, during no contact, you don't just ignore her, you erase her power over you. You study women not to control them, but to understand why you fell, why you tolerated so much, why you ignored your gut, why you put her first when she saw you as a backup. You look at your past and dissect it like a crime scene. Not to blame, but to never repeat. You learn frame. You learn boundaries. You learn how to say no without flinching. You stop over-explaining. You stop defending. You stop trying to be understood by people committed to misunderstanding you. You don't seek validation. You exude direction. You stop texting paragraphs. You start speaking in presence. You stop proving your worth. You start being worth. That shift doesn't happen overnight. It's built in every decision, in every time. You resist the urge to text her in. Every time you catch yourself fantasizing and pull yourself back in every morning, you wake up with war in your veins and clarity in your chest. You build habits that reflect who you are becoming, not who you were. You don't skip workouts. You don't miss reading. You don't entertain distractions. You live like your future self is watching, because he is, and he's begging you to stop being a slave to a woman who discarded you. She's not the villain. She was just the mirror. She showed you what you lacked, and now in the silence you either shatter that mirror or you let it define you forever. You are not soft anymore. You are sharp. You are clean. You are aware. You don't need her eyes to feel seen. You don't need her words to feel worthy. You are a man, a creator, a destroyer, a builder, and your mind. Your mind is the throne that governs your empire. Guard it, fortify it, honor it during no contact. Every thought is a choice. Every reaction is a risk. Every silence is a signal. Use them, master them. Be the man who doesn't need closure because he closed the door himself. Be the man who walks through fire and smiles. Be the man whose mind is a mystery even to himself, because that man can never be manipulated again. Number 5, lead a life that makes her irrelevant. She expected your life to slow down without her. She assumed you'd sit in silence scrolling through her feed, wondering who she's with, waiting for a message that never comes, because that's what most men do after a breakup. They collapse, they pause, they grieve while their entire existence remains frozen in time. but your edge is forged by what you do in the shadows. The question is, are you building something so undeniable that her memory doesn't even survive in your world anymore? She became the center of your thoughts because you made her the center of your life. You stopped evolving the moment she entered the picture. You adjusted your routines, lowered your standards, bent your plans to match her comfort, and now that she's gone, you are disoriented like a king who forgot how to run his own kingdom. That ends today. You stop making her absence the theme of your life. You start creating such a powerful presence that her memory shrinks into insignificance. You wake up and attack your day with force, not for revenge, but because there's purpose burning in your chest. You don't check your phone for her name anymore because your mission is louder than her silence. You don't fantasize about making her regret leaving. You are too busy becoming the man who wouldn't even let her back in. You rebuild your identity from the ruins. You pick up the pieces of the man you once were and melt them into steel. You lead your life like a man possessed, not by pain, but by direction. Your calendar is full with things that matter. Your time is expensive. Your energy is sacred. You start a business, you improve your craft. You expand your mind. You create systems that turn chaos into order. You build habits that are so consistent they turn into your character, and that character that becomes your new currency. In a world obsessed with short-term dopamine, you move with long-term vision. She lives for validation. You live for legacy. She posts for attention. You build in silence. She flirts with strangers. You network with men who challenge you. You become so focused that she starts to feel your absence. Not because you are quiet, but because you are unreachable. And the truth is, when a woman senses she's been replaced by purpose, she feels it deeper than if she were replaced by another woman, because she knows she can compete with other women, but not with the version of you who's locked into his mission. Your glow-up shouldn't be physical alone. It should be spiritual, financial, mental. You don't just change what you look like. You change the way you move, the way you speak, the way you make decisions. Every choice you make echoes through your future. Every morning you wake up early. Every book you finish, every dollar you stack, every connection you build, it adds to the gap between who she remembers and who you've become. That gap is power. That gap is respect. That gap is your revenge. Silent, mature, untouchable. You lead your life with discipline. You choose hard over easy, pain over pleasure, delayed gratification over temporary comfort, because you understand something she never did. Fulfillment doesn't come from being liked. It comes from becoming great. She wanted your attention. You now give your attention only to what multiplies your value. That includes your health, your goals, your circle. You cut off friends who don't grow. You block distractions that drain your focus. You build so much internal certainty that no one can shake it, especially not someone who left during no contact. You become so immersed in your own progress that checking on her becomes irrelevant. Not because you are bitter, but because she's not part of your ecosystem anymore. You've evolved beyond needing her to see you. You see yourself. You validate yourself. You push yourself. You learn to say no. You learn to walk away. You learn to look in the mirror and smile at the man who's rising from the ashes. The man who doesn't beg, who doesn't chase, who doesn't explain himself to people who left. That man walks in rooms and doesn't need to speak. His energy says it all, and one day she will feel that energy from a distance. She'll see you through someone else's post. She'll hear about you through someone else's praise, and in that moment, regret won't come from your silence. It'll come from your elevation, because while she moved on out of boredom, you moved up out of discipline. You became irreplaceable. Not because you were loved, but because you became the man love chases, and you lead your life from that place. Now you make moves. She doesn't know about you. Create results she can't ignore. You don't need her curiosity. You don't crave her reaction. You are too far ahead. You don't talk about growth. You embody it. You don't seek closure. You create chapters so powerful that the past becomes irrelevant, and you don't obsess over the woman who left. You attract the kind of woman who would never dare to. That's what happens when you lead a life that's so complete, so disciplined, so intentional that no woman becomes your anchor again. She becomes a footnote, a phase, a distant lesson wrapped in a beautiful face, and you become the man she'll never understand because you are no longer who she left. You don't need her validation. You don't need her forgiveness. You don't need her to look back because your eyes are set on the summit, and every day, every habit, every decision is a step closer to the man you were always meant to become, the one. She wasn't patient enough to see the one. She wasn't deep enough to respect the one she could never handle. And now she's no longer relevant. Not because she wasn't beautiful, but because your life became too powerful to make room for someone who couldn't see your potential when it was still being built. That's the goal of no contact, not to wait, not to wonder, but to win quietly, consistently, unapologetically. Number 6, burn the weakness out of you. She didn't leave because she wanted something better. She left because she saw that you didn't have the strength to become it. Weakness isn't just about being soft. Weakness is hesitation. Weakness is compliance. Weakness is the quiet fear you carry behind your words, your eyes, your body language. Weakness is when you let her test your limits and you never push back. When you think being nice will keep her loyal. When you keep forgiving red flags because you are scared of being alone. Weakness is when you can't walk away from disrespect. And during no contact, every second is your chance to burn that weakness out of you. Not with words, not with hope, but with absolute execution. Weakness is not what hurt you. Weakness is what kept you in pain long after she left. It's what made you check your phone. It's what made you cry in silence while pretending you are moving on. It's what made you lower your standards just to feel close to someone who stopped respecting you. The moment you stopped respecting yourself, you say you are strong, but if she texted right now, would your hands shake? Would you hesitate? Would you break no contact and dive headfirst into the same cycle that destroyed you before? If the answer is yes, then that's the weakness we kill. You don't manage it. You annihilate it. You take the parts of yourself that needed her and you rip them out. The validation seeker, the emotional beggar, the boy who needed love to feel whole, and you replace him with something dangerous. Something undeniable, something she never expected you to become, because a man who still craves closure is a man still chained to her control, and closure doesn't come from her words. It comes from your fire, from the rituals you build when nobody is watching. You stop saying, "I deserve better," and you start becoming better. You shut your mouth and start producing. You speak only when your presence demands attention. You don't argue anymore. You don't chase anymore. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be respected. You start fasting not just from food, but from weakness, from excuses, from scrolling, from neediness. You embrace discomfort because that's the breeding ground of strength. You choose cold showers because it resets your nervous system and forces your brain to obey. You train at 5 a.m. because that's when most men are still sleeping in their fear. You push beyond failure not to get a six-pack, but to build a mind that doesn't quit. You say no when your body screams. Yes, because discipline is louder than desire. You look in the mirror and stop asking if you are enough. You decide that you are. You stop reaching out, you stop explaining. You stop fantasizing because every fantasy about her is a delay in your destiny. You've got a mission now, a war to fight, a body to rebuild, a purpose to lead, and weakness has no place in that journey. You stop venting to friends who coddle you. You surround yourself with killers, men who call you out when you're slipping. You get around accountability. You stop tolerating softness in your life. No more late nights numbing yourself with distractions. No more playing victim. No more blaming her. She exposed your weakness. Good. Now use it. Let her walking away be the last time anyone underestimates you. You think your heart is broken. That's not your heart breaking. That's your ego dying. That's the boy inside you being ripped apart so the man can rise, but he can't rise if you keep patching the wound with comfort. He can't rise if you keep trying to find love before you found yourself. You build so much self-respect that her opinion no longer penetrates your frame. You cut off corn, you delete her number, you block her access. Not out of hate, but because the man you are becoming has no space for energy that drained him. And the next time you feel that emotional wave coming, that urge to text, that punch of loneliness, that ache in your chest, you don't run from it. You sit in it, you let it burn, and in that burn you whisper to yourself, "Good. Let it hurt. Let it fuel me." That's how you burn weakness, by letting pain sharpen you instead of soften you. Most men drown in heartbreak. Few use it to rise. You rise now, not tomorrow, not after a sign, not after she regrets it. You rise because it's who you are. You put in reps while others scroll. You fast while others binge. You create while others consume you. Face your demons and thank them for showing up. And when people look at you and ask what changed, you don't answer. You let your presence speak because words are cheap. Results are final. During no contact, the weak wait and wish the strong execute and evolve. You are not in no contact, you are in rebirth. Every second of silence is a test of your character. Will you fold or will you forge? And if you fail, you start again and again. And again until the man you used to be is a ghost, until she looks at you and sees nothing familiar, not in your face, not in your voice, not in your energy. You become unrecognizable because the man she knew was built on weakness, and the man you are now, he's built on discipline. You don't rise by chance, you rise by choice. She left, and that was your invitation to become who you were always meant to be. Not a man who waits, not a man who explains, but a man who moves. A man of silence, power, and unshakable presence. This isn't about her anymore. It's about you versus who you were. You either stay buried under heartbreak, or you burn through the pain and stand on top of the ashes. You are not broken. You are being built. Every second of silence is your battlefield. Every day without her is a gift. Use it, own it, dominate it, because the man who rises from this becomes untouchable. If this message lit a fire in your soul, like, comment, and subscribe. Have you ever felt as if life is pushing you to the depths of exhaustion and despair, the weight of endless pressures, the persistent worries that won't fade, and the dreams left unfinished with no clear path to reach them? Maybe you've asked yourself, how can I overcome all of this? Is there any way for me to stand strong, even when everything around me seems to be falling apart? I want you to know this. The light never disappears. It's simply waiting for you to see it. Stoic philosophy, with its unshakable resilience and unwavering optimism, serves as a compass to guide you. It shows you not only how to weather life's storms, but also how to draw strength from the very challenges you face. What you are about to hear is not just abstract theory, it's the product of lessons learned and hard-won insights. These are tools that can genuinely transform how you view your life. So I urge you to listen with your full attention and don't miss a single part. Sometimes all it takes is one profound idea or a fresh perspective to become the turning point that pushes you beyond your limits. Don't just listen, act on it, and you'll discover the true magic that lies within you. Number 1, cultivate happiness from within. Happiness is not something granted by fate or a stroke of luck. It is a choice. It lies within your grasp. Regardless of the challenges life throws at you, it is the light you ignite within yourself amidst the darkness of hardship and trials. Stoic philosophy teaches us that happiness does not depend on external circumstances, but rather on how we perceive and respond to them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." These words shine like a guiding star, reminding us that true strength comes from within. Take a moment to pause and ask yourself, why do I feel unhappy? Is it because I've let negative thoughts dominate my mind? Your thoughts are the roots of your emotions. As Epictetus wisely said, men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. If you allow resentment, envy, or pessimism to linger, how can joy ever find its way into your heart? Happiness begins when you choose to change your perspective, taking ownership of your feelings and actions. Happiness is not born from fleeting moments of luck, but from habits cultivated daily. Picture this: you wake up on a rainy morning. To some, the grey sky and wet streets might feel disheartening. But what if you chose to notice the raindrops shimmering on the leaves, or listen to the soothing rhythm of rain tapping against your window? In that moment, you've chosen to see beauty rather than gloom. That is happiness from within. Simple yet profound. Start with the little things. When your heart feels heavy, step outside. Take a deep breath. Feel the breeze on your skin, or play a song that uplifts you. Surround yourself with people who bring you joy, a close friend, a supportive family member, or even the kind smile of a stranger. These small actions can be the first steps toward building lasting habits of happiness. Seneca once wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." This timeless wisdom reminds us that happiness doesn't come from accumulating more, but from appreciating what we already have. So today, what are you grateful for? A warm meal, the laughter of a loved one, or the quiet serenity of your breath? These simple moments, when viewed through the lens of gratitude, hold more power than we often realize. Life is not always easy, but you have the choice in how you face it. Instead of dwelling on worries or resentment, ask yourself, what can I do to turn this challenge into an opportunity? Remember, every difficulty carries a lesson. If you are willing to learn, you'll emerge stronger than before. This transformation is the essence of Stoic philosophy, the growth of your inner self, and the key to lasting happiness. Happiness is not a distant destination, but the journey you walk every day. Nurture it with positive thoughts, gratitude, and small, deliberate actions. If today doesn't feel perfect, don't despair. Step into the light, reminding yourself that happiness is always present in the way you view the world, in the rhythm of your heartbeat, and in your power to choose. Ask yourself, what will I do today to nurture my happiness? Whatever your answer may be, take that first step. Don't wait. Happiness is always within your reach, waiting for you to claim it. Number 2, face the pain in your soul. Pain is an inevitable part of the human experience. Like a sudden raging storm, it can strike unexpectedly, sweeping away everything you once thought was stable. But pause for a moment and try to view pain from a different perspective. Stoic philosophy teaches us that pain is not our enemy. It is in fact one of our most valuable teachers. Seneca, in his famous letters, emphasized life is long if you know how to use it. We are not born to dwell in suffering forever, but to rise above it and uncover the profound strength that lies within us. When faced with pain, the most important thing is to not let it imprison your mind. Instead, keep yourself engaged. Start with small actions. Tidy up a room. Jot down a few lines in your journal, or simply brew a cup of tea. These seemingly insignificant actions are in truth your lifeline. Out of the whirlpool of self-pity, Viktor Frankl, author of Man's Search for Meaning and a survivor of the Auschwitz concentration camps, once wrote, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." His words are not just a source of encouragement, but a powerful reminder that, no matter the circumstances, we always have the capacity to transform ourselves, to move past the pain. You don't have to face it all alone. Humans are born to connect, to love, and to be loved. Opening up and sharing with trusted friends or loved ones not only fosters empathy, but also helps you heal. Sheryl Sandberg, who of Meta, reflected on this in her book Option B, written after the sudden passing of her husband. Resilience comes from deep within us and from support outside us. It comes from gratitude for what's good and from an openness to what hurts. Sometimes a simple conversation with a friend or a quiet walk in the park can bring immense comfort. You don't need to pretend to be unshakable. Let your connections soothe and heal your heart. However, the most profound lesson Stoicism offers us is to let pain be a teacher. Not a prison. Pain can intimidate, even paralyze you. But remember, it's not here to confine you. It's here to teach you how to face life's challenges, how to build resilience, and how to grow stronger because of it. See life as a journey where every step, every difficulty holds meaning. If you've ever felt stuck, ask yourself, am I letting pain control my life? If the answer is yes, then start acting today. Spend a moment each day writing down what you are grateful for. Step outside. Feel the sunlight on your face. Listen to the wind rustling through the trees. These small yet precious moments can help you reclaim hope and positivity. Pain won't disappear overnight, but step by step, day by day, you'll find that it transforms from a burden into a companion, guiding you to greater strength and wisdom. Take action today. Don't let pain dictate your life. You have the power not only to overcome it, but to use it as a foundation to build a brighter, more meaningful future, because you deserve to live not as a victim of your pain, but as a warrior who rises above every challenge. If you've ever overcome deep pain or are currently learning to face it, don't hesitate to share your story in the comments below. Your experience could be the light that guides someone else out of their darkness. Together, let's create a community where we learn to heal and grow stronger every day. Number 3, the antidote to anxiety in this challenging life. Anxiety is like an invisible shadow that lingers, draining our energy and robbing us of peace. It traps your mind in vague thoughts and scenarios that more often than not will never come to pass, yet you are not a helpless victim. You have the power to choose how you confront it, and Stoicism serves as a guiding light to illuminate the path through the fog of worry. Pause for a moment and reflect on your energy. How many times have you poured your precious strength into things beyond your control? Perhaps you've worried about how others perceive you, the outcome of an event, or an uncertain future. But the more energy you invest in these things, the more drained you become. Anxiety is like trying to fill a leaking jar. It only leaves you exhausted. Instead, focus on what you can truly change: your actions, your thoughts, and how you respond to life's challenges. Mindfulness and meditation are among the most powerful tools to conquer anxiety. Dedicate a few minutes each day to sit quietly. Take deep breaths and ground yourself in the present moment. With every breath, visualize your worries flowing out of your body like a gentle stream. This stillness not only brings relief, but also reconnects you to the present, the only place where you hold genuine power. Remember the words of Seneca, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Anxiety builds suffering in the mind, but in truth, those fears rarely come to fruition. Peace can also be found in the simple joys of life. Take a walk in nature, listen to the birds sing, or feel the cool breeze on your skin. These moments remind us that life remains beautiful even in its toughest times. Think of Albert Einstein, a man who faced immense pressure, but found balance through long walks and playing the violin. He showed that relaxation not only soothes the soul, but also unlocks the doors to creativity and clarity. Moreover, instead of letting anxiety consume you, channel it into purposeful action. Begin by setting small, achievable goals. A clear financial plan can ease money-related fears. Taking care of your health with regular exercise and nutritious eating can boost your confidence. Developing new skills or expanding your professional network can illuminate a brighter career path with goals in place. Anxiety transforms from a burden into motivation that propels you forward. But most importantly, whenever anxiety creeps into your mind, ask yourself, is this truly within my control? If the answer is no, learn to let it go. Write your worries on a piece of paper and then tear it up. A symbolic act of releasing the mental weight. So are you ready to step out from under the shadow of anxiety? Start today, not tomorrow. Not when you find the time, but right now. Freedom for your mind is waiting when you learn to let go of anxiety. a new world of peace and clarity unfolds. But what if we didn't stop at simply letting go? What if we actively built a positive vision for the future? In the next lesson, we'll explore the power of expecting the best and how it can transform the way you view each day. Let's take the next step together. Number 4, expect the best to happen. Life, with all its beauty and harshness, constantly places us in the midst of challenges. But remember, how you perceive those challenges determines everything. Stoic philosophy teaches us that reality is not shaped by external events, but by how we respond and think about them. When you expect the best to happen, you not only plant seeds of hope, but also cultivate the strength to turn the seemingly impossible into reality. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Your happiness is not a gift handed to you by circumstances, but a creation of what you nurture within your mind. Imagine your mind as a garden. If you plant seeds of hope, faith, and positivity, it'll flourish with vitality. But if you allow anxiety and negativity to grow unchecked like weeds, it will soon become barren and lifeless. Consider the story of Nick Isaac, a man born without arms or legs. Instead of succumbing to despair, he chose to believe in the beauty of what life could offer. From a man seemingly trapped by endless limitations, he transformed himself into a motivational speaker, inspiring millions across the globe. He once said, "If I fail, I try again and again and again." If you fail, are you going to try again? The human spirit can handle much more than we realize. His resilience and unwavering belief in his ability to overcome became a living testament to the power of positive thinking. Now ask yourself, when faced with your own limitations, will you choose to surrender, or will you sow seeds of faith? Knowing the best is yet to come. Challenges are an inevitable part of life, but instead of fearing or avoiding them, why not view them as valuable lessons? Seneca once wrote, "Fire tests gold, adversity tests strong men." Challenges do not weaken you, they help you grow stronger. Take inspiration from Helen Keller, a woman who, despite being both deaf and blind, overcame immense adversity to become a celebrated author and social activist. She once shared, "Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence." It was her optimism that paved her path to success. What stops you from believing that you too can transform difficulty into an opportunity for growth? Pause for a moment and ask yourself, what am I expecting? If you find your mind clouded by worry or negativity, it's time for a shift. Imagine a new day filled with good things awaiting. You focus on what you can control. Just as Marcus Aurelius emphasized, you can control your mind, not external events. When faced with challenges, instead of stepping back, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Life will never be a perfectly smooth journey, but you always have the power to choose how you view it. Let positive thinking shape your path. Starting today, expect the best, not just in thought, but in action. Plant seeds of hope in your mind and nurture them with faith and perseverance. One day your garden will bloom with the sweet fruits of happiness and success. Now let me congratulate you. You've made it halfway through this video. A journey you chose to embark on in search of positivity and change. Your patience and determination deserve recognition, because every part of this video is like a building block coming together to create the foundation for the life you aspire to. Don't stop here, because what lies ahead will offer you practical insights and powerful strategies to transform your thoughts into action. Let's walk to the end of this road together, where the answers and inspiration you seek are waiting for you. Number 5, solve the problem. Don't dwell on it. When life throws seemingly insurmountable challenges your way, remember that the solution is always there waiting for you to uncover it. Drowning in worry or regret is never the answer. Instead, focus on action, because action is the torch that illuminates the path ahead. Even in the darkest of times, Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control everything that happens, we can absolutely control how we respond. This is the most powerful ability we possess. Picture yourself standing in a cluttered room with belongings scattered everywhere. You can choose to stand still, overwhelmed by the chaos, or you can begin in one small corner, tidying up bit by bit. Similarly, when faced with a problem, believe that every small step matters. As long as you take action, clarity will follow and the mess will begin to organize itself. Calmness is the foundation of every solution. When emotions take over, our minds become like a disturbed lake, turbulent and unclear, unable to reflect anything accurately. Stoics remind us that maintaining composure is the first step toward overcoming difficulties. Take a deep breath. Allow yourself a moment to steady your mind and feel the clarity creeping in like a still lake. Only when you are calm can you see the bottom, where the solution lies waiting for you. Do not let fear hold you back from taking action. There will be moments when everything feels stuck, but as Stoicism teaches, every challenge in life carries within it a door to opportunity. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask yourself, "How can I overcome this?" That single question shifts you from fear to action, from stagnation to hope. When confronted with a problem, the first thing you should do is assess it objectively. Write down everything you are facing, from the smallest details to what feels most critical. Sometimes simply organizing your thoughts reveals that things are not as complicated as they seemed. Stoicism emphasizes that clarity of mind is the key to unlocking every solution. Remember that moments of insight often arise in stillness. A quiet afternoon beneath the shade of a tree, a stroll through the park, or even a brief pause during your day can spark ideas you never thought possible. Create space for yourself to reflect, to connect with your intuition. That is where true solutions reside. I once felt utterly overwhelmed, burdened by the weight of work piling up on my shoulders. Sleepless nights and relentless anxiety left me trapped in a downward spiral. But instead of letting fear continue to control me, I decided to write down everything I needed to do, breaking the tasks into manageable pieces and prioritizing them miraculously. Within days, I felt a sense of relief. What once seemed impossible became clear and solvable, and for the first time in weeks, I rediscovered the power of action over worry. Life is a series of challenges, but never let them define you. Stoicism reminds us that we are the architects of our destiny, and every action, no matter how small, is a brick in the structure of our lives. When faced with adversity, ask yourself, what can I do right now to take one small step forward, and more importantly, take that step immediately. Every great journey begins with a single determined step. Number 6, harness the power of gratitude. Imagine a gentle river winding its way through lush green valleys. Its waters grateful for every drop of rain that has fallen, every pebble resting beneath its flow, and every ray of sunlight warming its surface. It is this gratitude that breathes life into the river, allowing it to nourish everything around it. Humans are no different from that river. When we embrace gratitude for the small things in life, our souls grow stronger, deeper, and more peaceful, no matter how tumultuous the world may seem. In Stoic philosophy, gratitude is not merely a fleeting emotion, but a state of awareness, a way of life. Seneca once wrote, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." These words remind us that wisdom lies in focusing on what we have rather than lamenting what we lack. Think about it. How many times have you complained about rain ruining your plans, forgetting that it is the very rain that enriches the earth, or perhaps felt disappointment over missed opportunities, not realizing that those stumbles helped you grow into a stronger, wiser person? Gratitude does not have to be about grand gestures or monumental events. It can be as simple as savoring the deep breath you take in the morning, listening to birds singing in the distance, or seeing the smile of someone you hold. Dear Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." Life itself is a gift, and every day is a chance to cherish it. Science, too, has demonstrated the transformative power of gratitude. In a study conducted by psychologist Robert Emmons, participants who kept a daily gratitude journal not only reported higher levels of happiness, but also showed greater resilience to stress. Ask yourself, what am I grateful for today? Is it a friend's encouraging words, a sunny day after a long stretch of rain, or perhaps your own efforts to overcome challenges? To make gratitude a habit, start by jotting down 3 things you are thankful for each day in a small notebook. They don't need to be significant: a delicious meal, a kind word from a stranger, or simply the fact that you completed a task well. Over time, this practice will help you see the hidden magic every day. Show your gratitude to those around you too. A heartfelt thank you can brighten someone's day and deepen your appreciation for the relationships that enrich your life. Pause for a moment in the rush of life. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and feel the pulse of life flowing through you. The sunlight, the gentle wind, and your very existence in this vast world, all of it is worth celebrating. Picture someone standing atop a hill, eyes closed, the wind brushing past them, and sunlight softly touching their face. In that moment, they realize how profoundly beautiful life is, even with the challenges that lie ahead. Gratitude not only helps us recognize the simple joys in life, but also sparks profound change within. It lights the fire of optimism and gives us the strength to face every challenge on our journey. If you are ready to slow down amid life's chaos, take time to appreciate the goodness around you and start this journey of gratitude today. Let your first step be a declaration. Comment below, grateful for life, as a way to affirm your positive transformation. Even the smallest words of gratitude can ignite hope and inspire a community overflowing with love and light. Number 7. Focus on the journey, not just the destination. Amid the storm of life, a man stands still in a dimly lit room, his hollow eyes fixed on the faint glow of a street lamp outside. He has just lost the job. He devoted years of his life to pouring every ounce of effort into building a future. Now shattered into countless pieces, he asks himself, why have all my efforts come to nothing in that moment? The world feels like it's crumbling, and he, a mere grain of sand, finds himself adrift in the vast ocean of existence. But isn't it true that so many of us are caught up in chasing a perfect destination, forgetting that the journey itself is what truly matters? Life isn't just about where you are headed. It's about how you traverse each step along the way. Imagine climbing a towering mountain. There will be times when exhaustion overtakes you, when the ache in your legs compels you to stop. But if your gaze remains fixed solely on the peak, you'll miss the precious moments along the trail. The sound of birds chirping among the branches, the gentle sunlight filtering through the leaves, or the cool breeze brushing against your sweat-soaked face. The summit may be your goal, but the journey is where you live, where you feel, and where you grow. Stoic philosophy teaches us that focusing on the journey is the key to a fulfilled life. When challenges arise, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" The trials you endure are not punishments, but opportunities to become stronger. As Epictetus once said, do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather wish that what happens happened the way it happens, then you will be happy. This is a reminder that happiness isn't about bending the world to your will, but about embracing and appreciating life as it unfolds. Take a moment to pause and look around. Don't rush forward so quickly that you forget to notice the simple yet beautiful things around you. It could be the laughter of a child, a quiet dinner shared with family, or the golden hues of a sunset spreading across the sky. These moments not only bring life into sharper focus, but remind you that the journey is happening right now in this very moment. A vivid example of this can be found in marathon runners. For them, the finish line is a goal, but what binds them to the race is not just the victory awaiting at the end. It's every step they take, every breath they draw, and the exhilaration of breaking through their own limits. It's the journey itself that gives the destination its meaning. So are you truly living your journey? When difficulties arise, resist the urge to blame yourself or the world. Instead, see them as inevitable parts of life. Remember Seneca's words, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, it is because we do not dare that they are difficult." Don't shy away from challenges, for they are the very tools that shape the strength of your will. Pause and let yourself feel the wonder of each breath. Each sensation and each step you take for the journey is not merely the path to your destination. It is the life you are living. When you cherish each small moment, you will discover an immense strength and unshakable happiness. Even in the fiercest storms of life, as you learn to honor the journey, life becomes richer than ever before. Yet there is an even deeper lesson. How can you not only accept, but also love everything that happens to you? Whether it brings joy or challenge, the answer lies ahead. Waiting in the final lesson, number 8, embrace your fate. Imagine standing in the middle of a vast field where radiant sunlight bathes every blade of grass, even as sudden gusts of wind sweep across the land. That field is your life. The sunlight represents joy, while the winds symbolize adversities you cannot control. Yet you have the choice to stand firm in the wind, allowing the grass to bend, but never break. This is the essence of our morality, love your fate, a philosophy with the transformative power to turn challenges into inspiration, enabling you to live more fully and resiliently. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." That blazing fire is your spirit, and whatever life throws your way, loss, pain, or failure, can become the fuel that keeps your fire burning. Bright amor fati is not about passive resignation. It's an active, empowering mindset that sees everything, no matter how difficult, as an essential thread in the tapestry of who you are. You don't merely face your fate, you embrace it with love and gratitude. Ask yourself, when you face your darkest moments, what do you do? Do you curse your circumstances, or do you search for a way to rise above them? Stoicism reminds us that every challenge is a part of the journey. Consider the story of Thomas Edison when his factory burned down in 1914, wiping out millions of dollars in assets. He didn't lament his loss. Instead, he turned to his son and said, "Go get your mother and all her friends. They'll never see a fire like this again." His words reflect not only composure, but also a profound love for the unpredictability of fate, even in the face of devastation. Think of your own life. Perhaps you've lost a job, endured the pain of losing a loved one, or faced a life-altering setback. In those moments, it might have felt like the world was collapsing, leaving you convinced that you couldn't move forward. But look closer. Did those trials make you stronger, wiser, or open doors you never anticipated? Amor fati is the key to seeing every event not merely as a test, but as a gift in disguise. How then can you practice amati in your daily life? Start by seeking lessons in every experience, no matter how small. Keep a journal and ask yourself, what did I learn from this today? By doing this, even the smallest failure becomes a stepping stone towards success. Amor is more than a philosophy. It's an antidote to fear and dissatisfaction. When you learn to love your fate, you free yourself from the burden of resentment, from the endless search for answers to questions that lead nowhere. Instead, you walk in the light of acceptance, gratitude, and the belief that everything happens for a reason. Ask yourself, if you could truly love your fate, could you love this life more fully? That answer, when acted upon, has the potential to transform your entire worldview. We've just explored 8 powerful methods to awaken the strength of positive thinking, a journey inspired by the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. These lessons don't just help us face life's challenges, they illuminate the deeper meaning of our existence. No matter how daunting the obstacles may seem, remember this: your greatest strength lies within you. a flame of inner resolve that can light the way when you choose to trust in it. Positivity isn't just a mindset. It's a force that empowers you to rise above and create a life of purpose and fulfillment. If this video has brought you value, please take a moment to like it. It means the world to us. Share your thoughts in the comments below and pass this message on to your loved ones to spread positivity far and wide. How often have you gone through your day only to be blindsided by something you didn't expect? A sudden problem at work, an unexpected obstacle in your personal life, or an emotional setback that throws you off course. The truth is, life is unpredictable, and no matter how much we plan, challenges are inevitable. But here's the Stoic secret to making things happen. Prepare for challenges in advance, and you'll be ready to face whatever comes your way. The Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, teaches us to mentally prepare for obstacles before they arise. Instead of being caught off guard or overwhelmed by setbacks, we anticipate them and think through how we would respond. By doing this, we build emotional resilience and the mental clarity needed to handle difficulties calmly and strategically. It might sound counterintuitive at first. Why would you spend time thinking about challenges and setbacks? Wouldn't that make you anxious or focused on negative outcomes? But premeditatio malorum isn't about dwelling on worst-case scenarios. Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This wisdom highlights the importance of simplifying our lives and avoiding the trap of chasing after more than we truly need. By practicing moderation, you create space for consistency, focus, and mental clarity. Instead of exhausting yourself with endless striving or giving into indulgence, you create a sustainable rhythm that allows you to pursue your goals without burning out. You take the time to rest, recharge, and maintain your energy so that you can perform at your best consistently day in and day out. The key to balance is recognizing that everything has its place: work, rest, productivity, relaxation. And each of these needs to be honored without tipping into excess. When you overwork, you burn out. When you overindulge, you feel guilty or sluggish. But when you find balance, you're able to bring your best self to everything you do and still maintain your mental and emotional well-being. So, how do you start practicing balance and moderation? Begin by recognizing areas of your life where you tend to overdo it. Whether it's work, food, social media, or something else, start setting boundaries for yourself. Give yourself time to rest. Ensure that you're prioritizing the things that truly matter, while also allowing space for relaxation and rejuvenation. By embracing balance, you'll find that you not only achieve more, but you do so with greater peace and energy. Remember, the middle path is often the strongest path. Embrace moderation and let it guide you toward a more sustainable, fulfilling way of living. 10. Memento mori. Act like time is running out. How many times have you put something off, thinking, "I'll get to it tomorrow," or "there's plenty of time ahead"? We all tend to procrastinate, assuming that we have endless time to accomplish our goals, fix our mistakes, or pursue our passions. But here's the truth: time is precious, and we're never guaranteed more of it. The 10th habit for making things happen is to embrace the concept of memento mori. Remember that you will die. This isn't a morbid reflection, but a powerful reminder that our time on this earth is limited. The Stoics believed that by reflecting on our mortality, we are reminded of the urgency to live a life of purpose, to make every moment count, and to stop wasting time on things that don't truly matter. Memento mori reminds us that time is our most valuable resource. Each day is an opportunity that should not be taken for granted. Yet how often do we delay taking action, thinking we have more time, only to realize later that the years have slipped by? The reality is that life can be unpredictable, and we often don't realize how quickly time passes until it's too late. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, famously reflected on his own mortality in his meditations. He wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. By acknowledging that life is short, we begin to approach each day with a sense of urgency and focus. We stop procrastinating and start living intentionally, making the most of every opportunity. Embracing memento mori isn't about dwelling on death in a negative way. It's about recognizing that time is limited, which gives us the motivation to act now. When we remember that life could end at any moment, we are inspired to pursue what truly matters. We take action, we push past our fears, and we stop waiting for the perfect moment to start making progress toward our goals. Every day is an opportunity to live with purpose, to take steps toward what we want to achieve, and to leave behind a legacy that matters. So how can you incorporate memento mori into your life today? Start by reflecting on your own mortality. Acknowledge that life is fleeting and use that knowledge to fuel your actions. Ask yourself, what do I want to accomplish today? What will I regret not doing? Let the awareness of time's passing motivate you to take immediate, purposeful action. When you live as if time is running out, you become more focused, more intentional, and more driven. You stop putting off the things that matter and start making things happen now. Memento mori is a wake-up call, an invitation to live fully with urgency and purpose, knowing that every moment is a gift. Don't wait for tomorrow. Start today, because time is precious and you don't want to miss out on the opportunity to make your life count. 11. Gratitude as a power move. In a world where we are constantly striving for more success, more possessions, more validation, it's easy to overlook the incredible power of gratitude. We often focus on what we lack, what we don't have yet, or what we wish were different. But here's the Stoic secret. Gratitude is not only a way to acknowledge the good in our lives, it is a transformative force that attracts more of what we want. The 11th habit for making things happen is practicing gratitude as a power move. Gratitude is often seen as a passive emotion, but in Stoicism, it's a proactive tool for cultivating inner strength and attracting abundance. Gratitude, when we focus on the things we already have, we shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance, from frustration to peace. This shift doesn't just improve our emotional state, it enhances our ability to take action, to move forward, and to create the life we want. Think about it. When you focus on the things you lack or what hasn't worked out yet, it's easy to feel stuck, dissatisfied, or discouraged. But when you shift your focus to the things you are grateful for, whether it's your health, your relationships, your experiences, or even the simple joys of everyday life, you begin to notice that you have more than enough. Gratitude grounds you in the present and allows you to see your life through a lens of abundance rather than one of deficiency. The Stoics understood the power of gratitude deeply. Marcus Aurelius, for example, made daily gratitude a part of his routine. In his meditations, he reflected on the many things he was grateful for, despite the immense challenges he faced as emperor. He wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." Gratitude for the Stoics wasn't just about acknowledging the good, it was about reminding themselves of the privileges they had despite the challenges. It grounded them in the present moment and strengthened their resilience. Gratitude also works as a catalyst for action. When you recognize and appreciate the things you have, your skills, your relationships, your resources, it fuels you to take further action. Instead of focusing on the gaps or limitations in your life, you recognize the tools at your disposal and feel empowered to use them to create more success, more peace, and more joy. How can you make gratitude a power move in your life? Start by acknowledging 3 things you're grateful for each morning. These could be big, like your family or health, or small, like a moment of calm in the morning or a warm cup of coffee. Write them down or simply reflect on them before you begin your day. Notice how it shifts your energy and your mindset. You may find that your day unfolds with more clarity, positivity, and even opportunities you hadn't seen before. Gratitude isn't just a feel-good practice, it's a powerful tool for manifesting more of what you want in life. By acknowledging and appreciating the abundance you already have, you open yourself up to receiving even more. Gratitude strengthens your mindset, enriches your emotional resilience, and aligns your actions with your deeper desires. So today, practice gratitude as a power move. Recognize what you already have and use that recognition to fuel your actions and decisions. The more you focus on the positive, the more positivity you'll attract. And soon you'll find yourself making things happen, not because you wished for them, but because you took deliberate, grateful action. Own your role in life. How many times have you found yourself shirking responsibility, putting things off, or avoiding tasks because they felt too difficult or overwhelming? It's easy to want to avoid discomfort, to wait for the right moment, or to hope that someone else will step in and take charge. But here's the Stoic truth. Everything you do matters. Your actions, your decisions, and your responsibility are what shape the world around you. Own your role in life and success will follow. The 12th habit for making things happen is embracing your duty and responsibility. Stoicism teaches that life is not just about seeking pleasure or avoiding pain. It's about recognizing our duties and taking ownership of them. Whether it's our responsibilities in our career, family, relationships, or personal development, owning our role means acting with integrity and commitment, regardless of the obstacles that stand in our way. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, constantly reminded himself of his duty to his people and his role in the world. He wrote in his Meditations, "The best way to avenge yourself is to not be like that." By focusing on his duty, Marcus kept his mind fixed on what was in his control, his actions, his role, and his contributions to the greater good. Rather than being distracted by things outside of his control, he remained anchored in the responsibilities he had been entrusted with. When you embrace your duty and responsibility, you stop waiting for things to magically align or for external circumstances to change. Instead, you step up, take action, and fulfill your role with purpose and determination. This is the true path to empowerment. The more you take ownership of your responsibilities, the more control you gain over your own life. You stop being passive and become an active participant in your own success. This doesn't mean you have to take on the world or do everything yourself. It means that you acknowledge your part in the grand scheme of things and take pride in fulfilling it. Duty is about taking responsibility for your actions, regardless of how big or small they may seem. It's about owning your choices and decisions and following through on them, even when it feels hard. For example, if you're working on a project, don't wait for the perfect moment or for someone else to take charge. Own your responsibility to complete it with excellence, even if you face setbacks. If you're in a relationship, take responsibility for your role in building trust and understanding, even if it's uncomfortable at times. Every aspect of life is an opportunity to fulfill your duty, and by doing so, you move closer to achieving your goals and finding fulfillment. To implement this habit, start by identifying your duties in your life. What are the roles you need to embrace? What responsibilities have you been avoiding or putting off? Take one small step today to own that role and fulfill your duty. By doing so, you'll gain a sense of purpose, control, and strength. Because when you own your responsibilities, you take control of your destiny. Remember, success doesn't come from waiting for the perfect conditions. It comes from owning your role in life, fulfilling your duties, and taking deliberate action. 13. Universal connection. You're part of something bigger. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, it's easy to become consumed with our own challenges, ambitions, and problems. We often focus on our individual goals and desires, sometimes forgetting that we're part of something much larger. But here's the Stoic insight. 13. Universal connection. Everything we do is interconnected. We're all part of a greater whole, and our actions ripple out into the world in ways we might not always see. The 13th habit for making things happen is recognizing your universal connection, the understanding that your actions are connected to something bigger than yourself. Whether it's the people you interact with, the work you do, or the way you impact your community, every action you take contributes to the larger web of life. This awareness helps us realize that we are not isolated beings, but interconnected with others and with the world around us. The Stoics understood that we are part of a universal order. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, often reminded himself of the importance of aligning his actions with the greater good. He wrote, "What is not good for the hive cannot be good for the bee." This insight is about recognizing that when we act in harmony with the collective, we act in alignment with our true nature and purpose. By contributing to the well-being of others, we contribute to the well-being of ourselves. Think about it. When you help someone else, whether it's a colleague, a family member, or even a stranger, you're not just helping them in that moment. Your action creates a ripple effect, fostering goodwill and cooperation that can spread far beyond that individual. When you contribute to your community or take responsibility in your role at work, you're not only impacting those directly involved, but you're also contributing to the larger system that sustains everything around you. This doesn't mean that we should neglect our own personal growth or ambitions, but it does mean that we should always act with the awareness that we are part of something bigger. Every choice, every decision, every action we take can have an impact on others, and that impact can be positive or negative. By recognizing our interconnectedness, we begin to act with more integrity, responsibility, and consideration for the well-being of others. Universal connection also teaches us humility. When we realize that we are just one part of a much larger whole, we stop seeing ourselves as isolated or superior. Instead, we see our place in the world as part of a grander design, a design where our actions contribute to the collective good. This awareness helps us act with more compassion, empathy, and generosity, knowing that the energy we put into the world comes back to us in ways we might not fully understand. To incorporate this habit into your life, take a moment each day to reflect on how your actions contribute to the larger world around you. Ask yourself, how can I serve others today? How does my work contribute to the greater good? Whether it's helping a colleague, being present for a loved one, or making mindful choices that benefit the environment, always remember that your actions are part of the larger web of life. By embracing your universal connection, you stop thinking only about your individual success and start seeing your life as part of a larger mission. A mission that benefits not just yourself, but everyone around you. 14. Train your mind like an athlete. Your mindset determines what you achieve. We often spend hours training our bodies, improving our physical strength, endurance, and abilities. But what about the most important muscle of all, our mind? Just like an athlete dedicates time to physical training, the greatest achievers dedicate time to training their mindset. Your mindset shapes how you approach challenges, how you handle setbacks, and how you ultimately succeed. The 14th habit for making things happen is training your mind like an athlete. Stoicism teaches us that mental strength, like physical strength, is built through consistent practice, focus, and discipline. Your mind is your most powerful tool, and the more you invest in developing it, the greater your capacity to navigate life's challenges with confidence and resilience. Think about how athletes approach their training. They don't expect to perform at their best without putting in the work. Every day they train, pushing their limits and honing their skills. They know that achieving peak performance requires constant practice, focus, and dedication. The same goes for your mind. If you want to cultivate mental strength, resilience, and focus, you need to train your mind regularly. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, often reminded himself of the importance of mental discipline. He recognized that the quality of our thoughts directly impacts the quality of our lives. He wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Marcus Aurelius, in other words, the way you think, the way you interpret your circumstances, and the way you choose to respond to challenges directly affect your ability to succeed. By training your mind, you equip yourself to handle anything life throws at you with grace and wisdom. One way to start training your mind is through daily reflection and mindfulness. Just as an athlete works on their form, you can work on your mindset by focusing on your thoughts. Are they positive, focused, and aligned with your goals, or are they negative, reactive, and driven by emotion? When you become aware of your thought patterns, you can intentionally shift your mindset toward one that supports growth, resilience, and achievement. In addition to reflection, mental training can include practices like meditation, journaling, or mindfulness exercises. These practices help you develop focus, clarity, and emotional regulation, skills that will serve you in every area of your life. Just as physical training increases your endurance, mental training increases your ability to stay calm under pressure, to make better decisions, and to persist through difficult times. Another powerful way to train your mind is to constantly challenge it. Put yourself in situations that push your mental limits, whether it's solving a complex problem, learning a new skill, or facing a personal challenge. Thanks for watching. Just like lifting weights makes your muscles stronger, mental challenges make your mind more resilient. The more you challenge your mind, the more capable it becomes. Ultimately, your mindset is the foundation of your success. When you train your mind with the same dedication that an athlete trains their body, you unlock your true potential. A strong mind allows you to face adversity with confidence, learn from setbacks, and continue moving forward toward your goals, no matter how difficult the journey may seem. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, I Am Stoic, so you won't miss the meaningful content we are preparing for you. Together we can build a community brimming with hope, gratitude, and the courage to face anything life throws our way.